this. So essentially, who I am, a Kenyan student who is studying abroad, and I've developed this platform to help other Kenyan students to receive more employable skills, more employable jobs, especially in the international community. I can tell you this, the international community, they're really looking to come back home. Looking to come back home, but what's stopping them from coming back home, what comes to even work, is the level of quality. And they don't know who to trust or where to find this quality, the ones which is good. So what I'm saying is the systems and the education doesn't really teach you how to really satisfy these clients. And it's even to the point where even companies are denying students these opportunities to grow because they don't have employable skills. But these employable skills are meant to be taught by the institutions and universities. So that's kind of the reason why this platform's been created, and we're starting off in marketing, because marketing is a very, very attractive and lucrative area. So today what I have planned is we're going to go through very interactive. We're going to go through questions which clients ask us about marketing, which we have to answer. Because bear in mind this, before you even show all your skills and your design, they're going to want to meet with you and they'll have questions. And if you don't know how to answer these questions, that's the make it or break it. That's like they could be like, okay, imagine you're spoken to so many other people, agencies, marketers, and they're coming to you and want to hear something different, which makes you better than the rest. So the questions which we have on board we'll be discussing. Alongside that, we'll also be giving what has worked for us, what has actually brought us these clients to even come on and take part in and using the students for the talent. So I'm just going to share my screen. Where's my? Give me a second. Okay, where is it? I had this thing planned, but now where is it? Oh, there you are. Sorry. Present this. So share the screen. First of all, how many of you are familiar with Canva? Have you ever used Canva before?
Yeah.
Canva. Just put in the chat. Anybody else uses Canva like frequently for the designs? And maybe the typing on it, but anyways, we'll keep on going. Share. I use Canva actually a lot, and for the marketers who don't have much graphic design experience, Canva is a great cheat almost. It's because it allows you to have that sort of high level, designs which will attract all these clients. Because I tell you something, these international clients, and if you can satisfy them, actually you can satisfy anybody. Because they have high standards. And what they look for isn't necessarily busyness. They don't want to see a lot of text, a lot of colors, a lot of images. For them, actually, simplicity is a key. And it's that higher level, the attention to the finer details is what they're looking for. Have any of you managed to go through some of the workshops which are on YouTube, I think?
Which workshop, sorry?
Oh, so these are recorded and they're all uploaded on YouTube on our channel. So you can see all the previous ones. I've gone through Canva, I've gone through our marketing strategy, I've gone through actually walkthroughs on Canva, design competitions over there as well. So I think there's about 4 or 5 videos of previous, because it's been going for about like a month or so now. So after this one we posted there, also have a look at the previous ones because it's also very entertaining. Because we also have, with our strategy, there's a 3-level marketing strategy, which we adopt called level 1, level 2, and level 3. So when it comes to the design briefs, we'll be telling you, create a level 1 post, create a level 2 post, create a level 3 post. And if you don't know what these means, then you don't understand. So that's why in the video, it's very key. So do watch that video. I'll send the link to do watch it. But in the meantime, first question, which we get asked actually a lot, is I've tried running my own social media account, but it didn't work. Why? Now, let's say someone has asked you this. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes to think of a response. And then after the 2 minutes, I'd like to hear it. So Rana, you have 2 minutes to answer this question. A marketer has come to you. So no marketer, so a client has come to you and asked you this. Okay, look, I've been trying social media, I've been running the posts, I've been trying to do my things, but it's not working. Why? Answer it. I'm giving you about 2 minutes and about around 7:47. That's when I'll call you back. Well, not 4. We'll continue. Does the market giving back the audience attention? Okay. Thank you for the answer. For your answer. They're waiting for the other to reply. Try and go a bit more into detail about the audience attention. That's interesting that you mentioned that. So try and go in a bit more detail what you meant about that. Because the market couldn't catch the audience attention. Lack of clear strategy. So Mercy, do you also have an answer, Jackie? Okay, fine. Simple and attractive post. Okay. Can give a bit more time for Jackie, Oliver, and Mercy to give a response. Well, Oliver, you in? Oliver, is your audio sorted? Yes. And we'll give you a minute to also answer the question.
What was the question?
The question is like, yeah, so let's say client has come to you, I've tried running on my own and media, but it didn't work. Why?
Oh.
That's the question. Actually, while Oliver's doing that, Oliver's actually one of our, I would say, our success stories. I think Oliver joined our program 3 weeks ago, actually, about 4 weeks ago. And he's attended the workshop, produced the designs, the feedback, because he always improved each week. And now we've signed into a non-profit organization based in the Netherlands, who are called Pamoja Kenya, and they are producing water tanks for the villages. So he's actually currently working on their marketing strategies and the posts, and he's earning while doing so. So he's one of actually our success stories. He's doing a great job. So I'm saying for the rest of you here, there is this need. There is this. They want to come back home. These big businesses want to come back home. Just you need to make sure quality is there. So the more designs you post, the more the merrier. We will review each single one, attend the workshops, because it'll only benefit you. Because then if you know how to satisfy these clients, you can also satisfy the ones local as well. And that's going after this also, we'll be providing you guys some design templates as well. This is more for the people who need a bit more guidance with the style of designs we're looking for, or the bare minimum that are required for these clients. But nevertheless, okay, let's review these answers. Okay, so we have Kit who said lack of a clear strategy. A strategy helps you to set goals and how you can achieve them. Having this helps a lot in showing results. Okay, good answer. Okay. The first one actually was a marketer couldn't catch audience attention. I was scrolling down on social media, the audiences gave attention only for simple and attractive posts. Lack of proper social media, not defining the target audience. Oliver, do you have a response, or should we just continue? Okay, we'll continue wait for response. All of this is very true. All of this is true, but they will see with clients, they most likely they've heard this quite a few times. Like a problem there on how different social medias work. So all of this is true, and there's some dead giveaways where you can tell where there is no clear strategy. That seems like the general consensus here, which is correct. Like the strategy to know your audience attention and audience type. But there's some dead giveaways, and that's when you look through the social medias. First thing you point out is the colors. Is there a united front when it comes to the colors they've chosen? Like, is it like one post there's blue, like one post there's blue, then the other one is green, and the other one is yellow, although their logo brand is black. Because you see, if you look at companies today, and their social medias, they retain this, unified color, because actually we remember colors and pictures and patterns much better than words. So if we can associate a color, to a business or like an emotion or like a pattern that you see, they'll remember you so much better. And then comes with also the structure. If you look at the social media page of that individual, that company, maybe one day they're posting a testimonial, the second day they're posting like a quote, and the third day they're posting, let's say, a call to action. And then the next week after that, the first day they're posting, let's say, a video. The second day they're posting a blog post. The third day they're posting they're posting an infographic. There's no pattern. So which means there's not things which people can be looking forward to each week. Because if they know that each week is, let's say, Monday is a quote, I know every Monday is a quote, they'll be looking forward to Monday to see which quote is going to be for that one day. You understand? The same things. Tuesdays are meant to be, let's say, Tuesdays are meant to be like information where you're providing tips. So it means each Tuesday they've been looking forward to seeing tips. And I can tell you this, out of all the companies which we have discussed on this with, or we've seen their accounts, and we've seen their media pages, they're all full for this. One, the colors are not unified. Two, the posts are not structured well. And all of this, to be fair, it's all incorporated in the strategy. This is very true. So all what you guys are saying here is correct, and things which are wrong and which people need to correct. But the way to make you stand out individually is if you tell them, okay, can we see your account? You see their account, and start pointing out that their issues. Because anybody can say, yeah, your strategy is wrong, your thing is wrong, let's but if you actually tell them right then that, look, I can see nice page, but the color's a bit iffy, the structure is very inconsistent, so people don't know what to expect. So and even the messaging is, just right there and there, you point these things out. That's going to make you so much more marketable, so much more of an expert in your field. And also lastly, the last thing is, ask them that you don't have to ask them this, but so many clients today, they're forgetting that social media is just an extension of their business. That they shouldn't be seeing these as two separate entities, but as a journey towards their business. So social media, the Facebook is the first step. The Instagram is the first step. The second step would be, let's say, joining the email list. And the third step in the journey is now purchasing and making it and buying the service or product. Actually, all of this is explained in a marketing strategy video. So I really highly recommend, because this is level 1, level 2, level 3. So really if you understand that very well, and you've grasped the idea of social media. And another last thing which also really makes it easy for the clients to understand, like social media is, tell them this definition, you tell them this. So many people think of social media as something which is so difficult, something which is so complex. But social media by itself is, if you strip down all the tools and all the fancy strategies, it's simply how well can you convey a message to an audience. That's it. That is what marketing is in its truest form. And that's why anybody can be a successful marketer. Doesn't matter your background, if you can convey a message very well to a certain audience, you can learn the tools and the strategies. That's easy. The hard part is that message. And that's it. I can tell you this. You tell them these sort of things, they'll be seeing love hearts when they're looking at you. And like, this person is exactly who I need. Because they understand it. They're not trying to overcomplicate things for me. So I look dumb and then I have to try and then, pay for your service to actually, because you are the expert. No, they actually make me understand it. And by making you understand it means you actually know more about this. It's the same way, like, it's a good teacher makes complex things sound, very easy. But that's the first question. I think there's about 3 here, but we'll see how many we'll go through. This will be like a constant, because there's so many questions these clients ask. So we'll be going through most of them. Okay, now the second question. Why are my conversions, is it not landing? Yeah, not landing. And this time, don't just say social media strategy, go a bit deep into the actual strategy itself. So once again, I'll give you about 2-3 minutes, 2-3 minutes to understand, or to give up, not to give up, but to provide your answer. I'll be back in a second. How are we looking at the answers? Okay, I'm not sure any have come through. But this is a tougher question than the first one. Ooh, there's no answer so far. This one is a bit tricky. But where do you even start? Yeah, this one. By my definition. Okay. Thank you for the answer. Yeah, so there's clearly seen has clearly what's the strategy in the customer journey. Yeah, it's very, very true. Oh, maybe because you talk too much, hence failed to be consistent. Failure to provide a value for your target audience. Just try not. No, no, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Failure to provide a value for your target audience. Very true. Any more answers coming? Catchy headlines, okay. Thank you very much. Peace, Cynthia, anything? Any ideas? Doesn't matter if there's no right or wrong answer here. Video and stuff like that. I can understand. That's looking now at the actual design of it. Yeah, very, very true. Design of the actual post. So yeah, when it comes to the design of the actual post, oh yeah, there's so many things why it was not it cannot be successful. It could be the colors used, the text used, the headlines used. Very, very true. It could even be, yeah, the target audience could be wrong completely. Okay, we'll give another 1 minute then. We'll discuss these answers. Okay, okay. So which is the first one? Yeah, the first answer. Okay, one of the reasons I landed not a specific call to action. This may be simply put as the most very, very true. Exactly. If you don't have a good call to action, or it's very confusing. The client doesn't know what you're asking them to do. Then that's a very obvious reason why the conversions won't be landing. Okay, I'll give I'll give my input. There'll be a technical, and I'll go also someone who did less technical. Reason why conversions can be like I'm seeing the rest. Client needs to have a well-defined customer journey. Yes, we'll go into that. We'll go into that as well. Customer journey. Maybe because you talk too much and fail to. Very true. Like if you're just talking so much gibberish, people wouldn't trust you. Because they're here because they believe you can they believe your business or your service can solve an issue, and you're an expert in this area. So if they see you talking a lot of gibberish, I know being consistent with your words, that trustworthiness, which is very, very key, which is very, very key. And actually, that's one of the, actually, it's very good you brought that up because actually, it's one of the most, as a marketer, you're, especially marketing for a company, you really have to get the trust of, their potential clients. But we'll get into that. Let's actually now tackle this question. So we go technical first. Why am my conversions not landing? One of the reasons why they cannot be landing is because you're lacking the custom audiences. Custom audiences, lookalike audiences, utilizing the Facebook pixel or the pixels to the best of its capabilities, and also the tracking. Like if you don't have these full things on check, your conversion rate could actually, be a lot lower than it should be. I can have a good target audience. Like maybe maybe in the ad campaigns I put down the right demographic and interests, but because I didn't save that audience, and we'll get into this a bit later, because I didn't save that audience, it's a cold call every single time. So the people don't know you. Every single time you post to them, they don't know you. So the chance of them converting is much lower. Now, this is where we also get into the customer journey, which overstated the customer journey. Because imagine this, and bear in mind, these are also, and bear in mind, these are also things which you should be also writing down and things to say to your clients, especially what I'm about to say. It's because give the client, when they ask a solve question, an analogy. I tend to use it first. I'd be like, okay, so imagine you're in a forest, you're lost. And then I come up to you and I tell you, hello, follow me, I know where to go. First of all, I'll be confused. I'm like, who are you? How do you know my situation? How do I can trust you? You just came here and just told me to follow you. Although you haven't even, said hi to me properly. That's how I would feel. But if I came to myself like, hello, my name is so and so. I've been living in this forest for 20 years. My house is around the corner there. I know the ins and outs of this forest. By any chance, are you lost? This is much warmer. This is much more convincing because first of all, you prove to yourself being an expert. You prove to yourself that okay, you're trusted because you're very familiar with this area. And you've asked me, am I lost? Now, to bring this back to business, it's the lost individual. The lost individual is a potential client. So now you have to approach this client and show them how you're trustworthy by putting your brand there, showing the problems which you've solved, which you've solved, spreading awareness. So that way they can engage. They'll engage with you because now they're interested because they believe you can solve their problem and want to hear more about you. So this is actually the first step in that journey, in that level 1. Then after that, okay, we now got their attention and now engage with us. Now they now like me as a guide. They trust me. So that I gave them a map and tell them follow this map. This is the same as saying the call to action. This is the same as saying, here's my post, I'm telling you to go to my website when you're giving them the map. Now, the reason why this way is so much better than just, let's say, originally going and give them a map is because they may not actually be lost. You don't know if they're lost. They might not even trust you. They could be lost, but don't trust you. But now this way, the ones who have engaged with you already, if you were to give them the map now, the ones who have engaged, which means that they are lost, the conversion rate would be so much higher. It would be so much higher. Now, in technical terms, if we go in technical here, you have a campaign. You have a campaign, a post like an ad campaign. You put a post out there for brand awareness. A nice post. Let's say it's a good audience as well. Nice, nice headlines, no issues there, nice colors. And what you do is the people who like or engage or share or comment, you save them. You save those people in a custom audience. Because now these people have turned from cold call, people who don't know you, to people who, if they were to see you again, they most likely will remember you because they engage with your content. Because of that, they will most likely remember you. Now, what you do with these people, you retarget them. You set them as the audience that you want to target to the second ad. And the second ad is a call to action. So when there were one thing what was mentioned here about call to actions not being so specific, this is when now you can get into the real juice. Because these people are the kind of people who will benefit the most from your call to action. And remember this when you're marketing. Like remember this when you're marketing. You're not marketing to aliens, to sheep, to robots. You're marketing behind that screen, behind that like a human being. So you must treat marketing just the same way. Like you're just talking to a human being and you're trying to get them engaged in what you're doing. Would you just go to a stranger and say, bam, follow me, buy my product? No, you probably will introduce yourself. If you've done that a bit weird, but you most likely will introduce yourself. Same way. So when the client asks, why my conversions not landing? If you have the time, paint them that story, the forest story. Tell them that analogy. They will get it. They'll understand it. Tell them about how behind the screen, it's not just robots, it's human beings. So if you can relate to them almost like you're talking to a human being, then the way you perceive marketing will be different. And then also lastly, another reason why my conversion not landing, maybe because maybe they're getting good engagement. But if they're not saving that audience, each time they're putting a good post through, it's going to a cold audience. It's going to an audience which don't even know them. Why? Because they haven't made a custom audience for the people who are engaged. We go more into this in once again in the marketing strategy workshop. So it's a must. So it really is useful for each one of you to go and watch that. Now, third question. How do I drive engagement? I think actually I touched upon this answer in probably previous answers. But yeah, how do I drive engagement? You have about 3 minutes to provide an answer for this. How do I drive engagement? So what's the next one? Oof, my bad. That's a very good one. Good analysis so far. Maybe this was a tricky one. Engagement can be driven. Engagement can be driven by sharing quality content. Ah, That's actually quite a good answer. Engagement can be driven by sharing quality content. If your content gives value, then your audience will keep coming back. By being responsive to queries or feedback from your audience, creating awareness of forums, topics that have the same niche as your audience. Oh, these are very, oh wow, okay, these are very nice answers. Post listening. Oh, now the answers are coming through. Conducting surveys, making offers, etc. Create and share simple, interactive, and valuable content. Communicate with the audience, targeting customer audience. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. So actually, for each one of your answers, who having Q&A is pointing to give an option, an example on how, like an example for each one of those. So provide content, such as what is Bible content, how, and forms and topics, and say this is your audience. Mm. Oh, Kip, actually, thank you for the question. The answer to that is actually in our 2 marketing strategy workshops. I think they're about almost an hour long, 40 minutes, but it was in depth. There was one going through the strategy as a whole, and then there was one which went into the more technical. But to quickly summarize it for you, it's the use of the reason why it's not landing is because you're not using custom audiences. You're not using lookalike audiences. You're not also utilizing Facebook Pixel, the pixels and the tracking software as efficiently. So those 4 are, I would say, the most important reasons why your conversions are not landing. Because if you utilize them well, it should drive the conversion rate to much higher percentage if you were just to compare to just making a random call to action post. Yeah, if anybody have any other questions, feel free to write them in the chat. Feel free to send a direct message to me. I'll try and answer the best I can. But yes, how do we drive engagement? How do I drive engagement? And that's a question which is also asked quite a bit. How do I drive engagement? Let's see what sort of answers were given. Driven by sharing quality content. If your content gives value, they're not going to come back. Okay, by being responsive to queries or feedback from your audience, creating awareness, or forums, topics are in the same niche as your audience. Engagement can be driven by sharing. I don't know what's right down. having Q&A, responding to queries, giving tips. But yeah, we're all saying that we're all kind of saying similar things. Essentially, the most important thing is, people love free information. And what they love more than free information, free good information. Once again, like that free, valuable content. Because the philosophy behind that is, if you can provide extremely valuable content that's so useful to them, which, like, for example, let's say if you did a did you know, and like did you know, like a did you know post, and the text beneath, which is like the area which they don't know, or you think they don't know. Yeah, that's good. That's very true, actually. What you're saying there. So yeah, if you can, the information where they're actually getting the how do you know, like the part which you don't actually know, if that text is completely new to them and even borderline revolutionary to people's lives, the fact that that's for free, imagine the sort of information they'll be getting if it was paid. That's the sort of philosophy I'm thinking. So as you as marketers, you have to make sure that if you're doing a did you know as a type of post, which you gotta put on social media, do the research to actually make sure that that post is something which people did not know. And the better that is, the more engagement that will bring, and actually in the future, more conversions. But essentially, it's, yes, you're correct. It's the free, valuable content, that free information. That's very, very key. And the way you can do this is the how-tos, the infographics, the blog posts, the forums, the topics, the Q&As, the choose ABC, the questions. There's so many ways you can disguise all of this. But at the root of it, it's that free, valuable information which they're receiving. I think we have one more question. Actually, I've been looking at time. We're still about like 10 minutes left. So this is the last question we have just for this workshop. And this, you don't have many times, because bear in mind, like some of these clients are not, of course, are not always $1 million, businesses. So, spending money on like the ads and payments opposed to like operations and stuff can be like, kind of scary, especially someone who doesn't understand. Someone who doesn't understand, like, the way the ads work and the way they're utilized, it can be seen as useless. So I'll give you guys about 5 minutes, even less the better, to answer this question. Is ad payments or is paid advertisement worth it? What would you say? Like, imagine you're talking to them right now. So don't just give an answer which is like true, I guess, but actually provide an answer which you would tell an active client right now. The R is it R? Is R ad payment? I think it's R ad payments. I think it's R is ad payments R. It's R ad payments worth it. So yeah, 5 minutes, people. Who they no answers yet? It's okay. This is still a bit of time, anyways. Speaking of pay, maybe people like have safe house, you know, if you release that one. Is that what you would tell a marketer to a potential client? Mercy. Those exact words. Because of course, for me, I know ad payments are very much worth it. Like I know that paid advertisement is worth it. Remember, these clients most likely they've even started or they've even gone to this area yet. It's gonna be scary, so you need to reassure them. So what's going to be that question? It's going to be the answer, which is going to reassure them. Ad payments are worth it, especially if it's targeted clear piece of by advertising, who you're talking, and what you're looking to achieve. Oh, hello. Yes, your property. Did you turn the light on and market the audience and then line using the right keywords and the same strategy. Very, very true. I think I'll give another 2 minutes. Mhm. Okay, so time's picking on, so let me round this up. Is ad payments worth it, or are ad payments worth it? Well, at least the general consensus is yes, which is good. That's a good start because yeah, they are very much worth it. The main issue why the main issue why any client to be asking this is because, like any business, you don't want to waste money. You don't want to, incur losses. And they're afraid because marketing, their idea of marketing doesn't have like a tangible, like it's not something which they believe if it's successful, I can hold to my hands. I can hold the cash and money in my hands. Like I can't really hold 10,000 likes, on my hand, but that's very powerful. I can't hold 10,000 likes in my hands. It's like, is that worth it? So, if we were to have a clear reason why. So, what you have to tell them is, and this is quite a good way to tell them this is, paid advertising can actually make you more money, your business more money than if you were to do it from your word to mouth. Why? They're asking you, how, why? Because one, yes, a refined strategy. A good refined strategy with target audience, that's gonna have more conversions. Tell them, always provide an example. Always provide an example or an analogy. Because this makes it very clear to them. You want to make them you want to make the client so clear and make them understand this so well so they can trust you. So you can tell them this like, okay, Like imagine you're going to, let's say you're going to this, there's a group of people, okay, it's a group of people, and you're approaching one person, you physically approaching one person, and you're trying to sell them, you're trying to sell them your, product. And so the product is, it's like $50. Okay, yeah, that's how much the service cost. You go one by one by one by one by one by one by one person. And let's say they all pay $50, I don't know, maybe some won't, some won't. But the time you took to go through each one is effort. Maybe you went through 50 and like 50 people in a day. And to even get those 50 people, it took so much work and energy. Now imagine if there was a system out there which told you, okay, for each person you reach, give me like 20 cents. Give me like 20 cents, 20 shillings for each person you reach. And we're going to project you to thousands, let's say tens of thousands of people, 750, 10,000 people. And remember, your product is worth $50. So 1 + 1, anybody can do the maths here. Let's say there's a high converting product. So let's say the majority of that 10,000, probably quite rare, majority of that 10,000 people convert. You're making so much more money than you would by doing word of mouth and spending much less energy doing so. So you need to, when it comes to the clients, you need to sell to them that actually it's the most cost-effective way of getting clients. Well, when you have, or if you have, a well-refined strategy. And even tell them this, the more data you put into the strategy, like the larger the custom audience, the larger the lookalike audience, the more accurate the strategy gets. So the more conversions, which means it could even lower the cost. It would even lower the cost per click. Because now you're just targeting a much more smaller group. Went from big to now just a much more smaller group. So actually, when done well, ad payments, paid advertisements can actually be more cost effective and more sustainable for your business. And to add another question, the most likely also to follow up with this one, they'll ask how much money should I spend? That's another common one. How much money should I spend? And the rule of thumb is 5 to 10% of your revenue. That's the rule of thumb. Of course, depending on your strategy, some people have like 40% of the revenues to advertising, depending on the company. But if it works for them, it works for them. But a rule of thumb, especially for startups, 5 to 10. And with a good converting audience, it can even do that back down. It can even be shooted back down to 2 to 3%. Well, another time. So actually this actually concludes this workshop actually. And there's so many more questions which they ask, which we'll go through as time progresses as well, because there'll be one each week. These are just some. And if you can really understand these questions and the answers which have been provided, and provide clear and straightforward answers, then you've hit the nail. If each one of those questions you can come up with a very nice analogy, very nice story, which make things very clear for potential clients to understand, then I can tell you that they will trust you so much more. Like I said, they don't want to hear the complex jargon, the complex tools. That's the last thing they want to hear. They just want to hear that, like, okay, look, we'll show you this is simple. It's basically like this. Of course they know that there is more to it, but basically it's like this. Let me simplify it for you so you can understand. It's almost like you're telling them like what to do. People find it a bit hard because they don't want to, give too much, because they actually in the end may just go and do themselves. But let me tell you this: if they're ready coming to discuss it with you, they don't want to do it for themselves. They're looking at offloading it because they're probably too busy with something else. So if you can tell them in a way which is like they can go and actually do it straight away, that is free, valuable information, and they will cherish that. And actually, instead of going doing it, they'll be like, "Look, I trust you. You give me information. Can you do it? Tell me, and I'll pay you to do it instead. I trust you." So actually, yeah, I think I'm about to conclude this workshop. Before I do, make sure you also complete the design briefs. I'm gonna send each one of you an invite to join our Canva team. Because in the Canva team, you have access to our design templates. Now, these design templates are there to guide you for the briefs. They're there to show you like the bare minimum when it comes to the sort of standard that these international clients are looking for. So because of templates, you can adopt them and you can change them, but they provide a good foundation. Of course, I know some of you here are very skilled already in graphic design. So actually that's more your strong point. So you actually won't need this template. But these are for the people who maybe are stronger marketers and actually designers, and they need a bit of boosting to kind of help them get that confidence up. So a new design brief will be posted out early next week, and the language is going to be level 1, level 2. So if you don't know what level 1 and level 2 is by then, you need to know, because then you can't complete the design brief. And you can't complete the design brief, we won't know if you're improving or not. And if you don't know you're improving and you're getting better with your metric standards, then we can't have confidence that if we give you a client, you'll be able to, like a job, you're able to actually fulfill and go above their standards. So the more designs you produce, the better. So the faster you improve, and then the faster you get jobs, and you start getting money. And yeah. So, any questions before we conclude? Any questions? Actually, I'll also send out this PowerPoint. So then you have access to the questions, so you can be revising for a later date. But yeah, apart from that, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh yes, what's your question?
Is it a must someone to use Canva?
No. It's not must. If it's Canva is just there to help the people who don't have that design background experience. Because it makes it very simple. For example, I don't actually use, so no, I actually use Canva to do all my designs just because I don't know, I haven't learned the Adobe too well, and I haven't really, that's not my area. So if you know how to use that and that's what you're comfortable with, oh, by all means, use it. Like, we'll still provide you feedback and to provide you with the reviews, by all means. But for people who don't have that knowledge, Canva and our design templates are always there to help you. Oh, I got a message, kindly reshare. Kip loves this question. Fine. The technical reasons why conversions are not landing. Okay, I'll say it one more time because it is also there in the workshop. It's because you haven't set up custom audiences, lookalike audiences, pixels, and tracking devices. Now, if those things are new to you, go over to our YouTube. There's the typing a job in time, and you'll see then YouTube, our channel has all the workshops, and we go through even in depth of how to even set up these things. So look at that. But yes, those are the reasons. Any more questions? Then it seems like no, all good. Well, anyways, I hope this was useful for you, and looking forward to seeing your designs and query. Meeting. Stop sharing. Everybody have a great night. And thank you for coming and see you next week.
See you next week.